is going on, guys? Inside New York Sports Podcasting. We have some breaking news around the MLB. Kyle Tucker is heading to no other than the Los Angeles Dodgers. And for the Yankees, now the Yankees' only move they can make is to re-sign Cody Bellinger. And I know we haven't made a Yankee update in a while. They traded for Ryan Weathers, solid starter. Who's got some nasty stuff, had some injury issues. I think he had a forearm issue. I think a lat strain as well, some of the injuries to him. But listen, Kyle Tucker going to the Dodgers is something that I'm not shocked about. It's a 4-year contract for him with a higher AAV. For the Yankees, I think the reason why they maybe didn't want to go the Kyle Tucker route, because if they do have opt-outs, do they want to add $60 million a year to a contract? But, something that I've learned from the Yankees I feel like they're kind of starting to try and look at their prospects a little bit more, because they're a team that doesn't like to be over the salary cap and deal with those penalties, and I think that's one of the reasons why maybe they haven't signed a big fish bat. They sign a lot of starting pitching, obviously, because starting pitching is very important, and you want to have a solid 5 guys in a playoff series that you could be comfortable with, and not be like, all right, we have these 2 guys going, and then game 3 might be a bullpen game, might be a little bit iffy. The Yankees' philosophy is that we want the best starting pitching, and we want to put a lot of money into that. It's kind of like, if you want to put it into football terms, I guess, building an offensive line, because you want to have a stable offensive line. But listen, for baseball-wise, you got to have great starting pitching. And, for the Yankees, they feel very confident in their offense. They were one of the highest WRC plus teams, very good slugging team. They hit a lot of home runs. In terms of the lineup, the big thing is, right, the rumors with trades. Do they trade for a player? First base, you got Ben Rice. Second base, you got Jazz. Shortstop, you got a group of players like Oswaldo Cabrera, Jose Caballero, and then Anthony Volpe when he comes back. The third base role is pretty much Oswaldo Cabrera as well, and Ryan McMahon. I didn't expect them to go after a third baseman. I didn't necessarily want them to be totally honest. Maybe Alex Bregman, but obviously the Yankees were never going to get Alex Bregman, right? I think the way that I view this offseason and what to pivot to is, I guess, get Cody Bellinger on maybe a 5-year, $165 million deal. But there's been a big rumor that they want 7 years for Cody Bellinger, and that would take him to age 37, which wouldn't be good for anything, because the Yankees don't want to be clobbered into a lot of late long-term deals that are going to be awful at the end of their guy's career, because you don't know what Garrett Cole is going to be when he is 37, 38. You don't know what Aaron Judge, how sustainable Aaron Judge is going to be. I mean, if you only have 2 more years of a very good, healthy Aaron Judge, it's like you missed your window, right? And I think for the Yankees' sake, I think the main moves that they're probably going to make, honestly, I think they should get a right-handed hitting catcher, because you have a bunch of left-handed hitting catchers on your roster. So I think getting a right-handed hitting catcher could be beneficial. Maybe a guy that hits well against lefties, I'm not sure, and plays good defense, because the Yankees have been prioritizing defense a lot. But getting back to Kyle Tucker, and I know everybody's pissed off at the Dodgers because they signed another big fish in the pond, like I like to call it. At the end of the day, there were every other team could have signed Kyle Tucker to a long-term or short-term deal, rather, because that's what he wanted. And people get pissed off. The Dodgers knew they already had a good outfield. They knew they had a good team already. They knew they had one of the best offenses in baseball. Shohei Ohtani, Freddie Freeman, Mookie Betts, right? Will Smith, Teoscar Hernandez, all of those guys. And they see that nobody's willing to talk to Tucker, make a contract to Tucker. The Mets made a contract offer for $50 million per year. I would assume it would be for 3 to 4 years-ish. And then the Dodgers see this as an opportunity that, hey, nobody's going to get him. The Yankees aren't going to get him. The Mets aren't going to get him. The Blue Jays might have a good offer for him, but we're the Dodgers, and we can sign anybody, and they got him. And you know what? Props to the Dodgers. Unfortunately, this is ruining baseball because no other team is willing to do this. No other team is willing to spend like the Dodgers and try and compete against the Dodgers. You know, you look at some of the free agents that are eventually going to come up. Tariq Skubal has not had good discussions in contract negotiations with the Detroit Tigers. Is he going to be a Dodger? Is Paul Skeens going to be so fed up with the Pittsburgh Pirates that they miss out on the playoffs again and they only win maybe 70, 72 games this upcoming year? Does Paul Skeens want out from the Pittsburgh Pirates? And the first destination for any superstar caliber top player at that position is going to be the Dodgers, right? They're the most desirable place. Back-to-back World Series champions. They know what it takes to win a championship. They have the starting pitching. They have the bullpen. They have everything. And even their bullpen, you could say, is a little bit flawed. But they sign Edwin Diaz. They snag Edwin Diaz from the Mets. And the Mets pivots to Devin Williams, right? So it's like even the big spenders who are supposed to spend big, they end up getting him. So, I mean, with the Dodgers' sake, right, you know, they were definitely the World Series favorites, obviously. I honestly would not be shocked that this is a team that four-peats. Honestly, if they win the next 4 World Series, I would not be shocked at all. And, you know, honestly, I feel like for all the betting people and FanDuel and all of those people, I feel like the odds are going to be like minus 250, maybe minus 300, if not more, for a starting bet. And then the rest is just a field. You know, the Dodgers are awesome. The Dodgers are what the Yankees used to do back in the day. The Yankees will never go back to that. They never will. I feel like as long as Hal is in charge and Brian Cashman is in charge, they're never going to do this. And the Yankee fans are going to be continuously upset about it, and they feel that maybe the front office doesn't have the desire to win. And I think there's a perfect argument for that because you look at the Yankees' recent off seasons. You got to get you got Juan Soto that one year. We saw what Aaron Judge and an elite superstar can do together, right? This was probably the best you could have done is get Kyle Tucker, because I think Kyle Tucker is pretty on par with Juan Soto when it comes to overall talent. And Juan Soto got $765 million, right? So I think the biggest thing with the Dodgers acquiring Kyle Tucker is, what do other teams do? What are other teams going to do in the National League specifically? Because if you're an American League team, the only way you meet with the Dodgers is in the World Series, except when you do play them once a year. I think the biggest thing for the National League is to try and come all together and try and defeat this menace of a team, right? The San Diego Padres, the New York Mets, the Chicago Cubs, Milwaukee Brewers, all of the teams that have a chance to actually defeat the Dodgers, maybe the Philadelphia Phillies, but I think the Phillies need to make a few more moves as well. They still need to move off of Nicholas Castellanos from his deal. But listen, man, for a Yankee fan, for a Yankee podcast, I'm obviously upset that the Dodgers acquired Kyle Tucker. For the Yankees, it's not the end of the world. They could re-sign Bellinger, or they could see what Spencer Jones has this upcoming season. I think that they're going to go to Spencer Jones. Cody Bellinger's going to be a New York Met. Clip that. I think that's what's going to happen. And the Yankee fans are going to be like, oh, upset that we lost Bellinger. But I think that's what is going to happen. I really do. I think we see how much Kyle Tucker got. I think Cody Bellinger is going to get a pretty hefty contract. And I don't think the Yankees are going to really want to meet with those terms. And I think the New York Mets are going to swoop in and get another former Yankee. And he's going to go to Queens. And we're going to have to play him in the Subway Series next year. But I think that's enough for me. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to follow. On the road to 400 subscribers. We're grinding. We're trying to give you content as much as possible. Don't forget to follow us on TikTok at Inside New York Sports Podcast. Don't forget to follow us on the Instagram as well. But I think that's going to do it for this video. Subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.